You know what is crazy? Some people will never fully believe that you've changed. Not because you're still drinking or using, not because you're still messing up, but because they froze you in the worst moment of your life. And even harder than that, part of you still lives there too. Now, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your kids, your spouse, the friend who stopped answering your phone calls or returning your text. Some said it out loud. Some just thought it. And even now, even after all that growth, maybe even after going to treatment or after therapy, or after you have some real time in sobriety, even after you've built some real pieces of your life again, there's still this voice sometimes that says, yeah, but they still remember this or that. Or yeah, how could they ever forget? Or yeah, they have to still see me that way. And I want to talk to you about something that answers that voice. It's not a meeting, not a mantra, not even another motivational quote. It's a book, your book, with your name on the cover. Because after working with thousands of people, somewhere in the battle of addiction, alcohol, trauma, chaos, and recovery, I learned something important. That people who stay stuck are usually not stuck because of alcohol. They are stuck because they still see themselves as the person who drank it. They never stop seeing themselves as broken. And underneath it all, they never fully put language around what actually happened to them. Not the memories. I'm talking about the moments, the moments. And there is a difference. A memory is something that you remember. A moment is something that changed you. The arrest, the overdose, the divorce, the day that you lost custody of your children, that happened to me. The Christmas that you were not invited to, the job that you lost, the ultimatum, the funeral, the relapse that nobody even knows about. Those moments are still sitting inside. They're sitting inside you right now, unfinished and unnamed, still running the show in ways that you may not even realize. Now, look, there are companies out there helping families preserve memories, like grandma recipes, vacation stories, family history. And those are beautiful. Matter of fact, I actually bought one for my mom. But my mom has never lived what you and I have lived. She has never had the kind of moments that breaks families, that destroy trust, and force someone to rebuild themselves from the ground up. That is a different category of life. And it really deserves something different. That is what Story to Strength is. My name is Nate Herleen. I am a retired police officer from Las Vegas. I spent years watching addiction destroy families from the inside out and the outside in, and then I was fighting my own addictions, and I got help. And after years working inside the treatment industries, through interventions, admissions, client care, client support, I kept seeing the same thing over and over again. People were doing the work, but they never fully made sense of what happened to them. And so my mission became clear. Turn pain into language, language into understanding, understanding into action, and action into a bigger future. That is why I built Story to Strength. Here's how it works. You get access to a private portal. Questions come to you one at a time. You answer the questions however you want, with a voice recording or a typed response at your pace, on your schedule. Some people just answer one question a week and their book is done in a year. Others move faster and become published authors in just a few months. Then my team of real ghostwriters and editors take your words, your stories, your moments, and we shape them into a real book. Your voice, your story, your message. And I want to be very clear about something. AI is not writing your book, and I will keep saying that because your story is too important for that. AI cannot hear grief, the grief hiding behind the pause in your voice. It cannot feel heartbreak. It cannot understand shame. It cannot recognize the silence after somebody talks about losing a child, their marriage, their identity, or even themselves. Those are human things, and it takes humans to capture them correctly. That is why our ghostwriters and editors are not random freelancers. Many of them have lived through addiction themselves. So when you share something painful, we don't just transcribe it. We feel it differently. We understand what it means. And if we need more clarity from you, we just simply reach out. We call you, you FaceTime with us, or we'll send you an email and you can respond because we're building this with you. This is not a PDF. This is not a simple thing that you're going to download, not another forgotten file sitting on somebody's phone or computer. This is a real physical book with your name on the cover and a dedication page, an author section, a story that people can hold in their hands, a story that your kids can finally understand one day, a story that your family can read, a story somebody finds at 2 o'clock in the morning when they are losing their own battle. And because of your words, they decide to keep going. Books are not irrelevant. They never will be, because there's something different about holding a story in your hands. And when your name is on that cover, that becomes permanent. And maybe the most powerful part of all of this, your story stops being something you carry alone and starts becoming something that carries someone else. That is the real royalty. Every printed copy for the rest of your life is pretty damn awesome. The best part is knowing that your pain finally meant something bigger. You already survived the hardest part. You lived through it. Now it's time to just turn it into something real. Click below and just get started today.